Thank you for staying with us. Let's now take you through the front pages of Nigerian newspapers to see what the headlines will be this Thursday morning and return for some analysis of the matters. The Nation newspaper is where we're going to first, and we see right here, ministers defend Nigeria against Trump's target killings claim. We'll let you know exactly what that is. We saw the Minister of Information, Idris Mohammed, speak yesterday on the matter. But the News Direct is coming around the same matter, different way. Alleged Christian genocide. Foreign lobbyists are responsible for narratives. This is coming from the federal government of Nigeria. Who are these foreign lobbyists? We'll tell you more about that. The Daily Times comes on the same matter. U.S. clarification or classification of Nigeria as CPC based on misinformation and faulty data, quoting the federal government still there. All of that is coming from the press conversation that the Minister of Information gave yesterday. The Blueprint or the Punch newspaper is where we are going to, and this time around a little bit on politics. PDP back on the table. Power showdown. Wike Bloc Defiant as PDP BOT insists on convention. Their wonderful convention that has not yet happened, and then the storm is all over the country. Well, let's wait to see it. The Blueprints newspaper is where we're going to write about now. And on the Blueprints right here, we see another matter. I'm trying to look for the Blueprint here. Okay. PDP crisis deepens as faction differ on Ibadan convention. Also, the matter of the U.S. and Nigeria is also right here on the Blueprints. This Nigeria newspaper is our next call. National Assembly bans sex for grades, okays 14-year jail for offenders. We'll let you know what the riders up on all of these stories will be when we come back to analyze them. The Platform Times is also talking the matter. Senate passes 14-year jail term for sex 4 marks offenders. Don't do that. Don't do that. 14 years, exactly. The Guardian is where we're going to write about now, and this time around on economic matters. Referendum call heightens over illicit constitution reform plot. We'll let you know a little bit more into that matter when we come back to analyze. Hope newspaper taking the leg on education. Over 1 million out of school children re-enrolled nationwide. This is according to the minister. Sounds good, but we need more because there are more out there than in schools. Daily Independent is where we get to, and this time around, how Nigeria lost 300 billion to crude oil theft. This is by the Senate. I would say that's a pretty sad one, but how did we get there? The Leadership newspaper is where we're going to, and we see here leadership award motivates us to do more, quoting Bello. But 6 trillion subsidy debt, power generation firms seek clear payment framework from government. This has better be settled before we get into wahala with customers. And the Sporting Live, good news, the fear that Ajax had the other day, boy, Osima gave them a hard knock. We'll talk when we come back to analyze Etoma. The Nation newspaper, the Minister of Information, Idris Mohammed, is defended the country, saying that Trump's targeted killing claims is misplaced and it stems from misinformation. Would you call that really misinformation, and in what context is this?
I had the privilege of seeing one interview when a lawyer in the United States that works very closely with the government was asked these questions, and the things he said had to do with trust issues. It has to do with an American citizen that was kidnapped in Niger and brought to Nigeria, and there was a plan to rescue him. And by the time there came a plan between the American military and the Nigerian military, and by the time they came, they saw that information had been leaked, and this has really messed everything up. And it is also said that another one has been kidnapped again. So it's as if he lashed out of anger and said what he said. But for our reaction as a nation, I love what the Minister for Aviation said, Festus Keyamo, he said, President Trump, the Nigerian people ask for deep and sincere understanding from your government at this point. We ask for support, cooperation, and collaboration to confront this menace of terrorism. That, to me, is a better way of doing it. Another way you can do it as a government is to give facts and figures of your efforts.
That's right.
You know,
data.
Yes, give them data of your efforts and proof that this and this and this is what we have done so far. This and this is where we will need help and collaboration.
That's right.
I think maybe we should push that narrative more than saying it's not only Christians that are dying, Muslims are dying.
And this is the data to back
no
that up.
Nigerians should die.
And if we can go to the news direct this morning, Ria, speaking of data, again, I refer back to the conversation we had with Dr. Kabiru Adamu when he was here, you know, giving us those data. If the United States is saying this is what they know, if the Nigerian government then comes with facts and figures to say, from this time to this time, this was what was the case, but now this is what is the case, we're still battling here and there. That data can then drive a confident conversation between Nigeria and the United States, where would then lead to saying, for where we're still struggling, we need partnership to, you know, curtail this.
You know, at the end of the day, that's why I said data is very important. And I hope that this is teaching us a lesson as a nation to always make sure that we have our data. Because trust me, if we had this accurate data that we're sending back to America, I don't think Donald Trump will have come out to make another speech again, you know, fuming and still talking about this. But just like what Thomas said, I think at the end of the day, it's not a fight with the United States. It's for us to collaborate. You said that this is happening. How do you help us crop it? For me, that's the conversation. And I always had a problem with we trying to prove that, oh, they're not killing Christians, because I keep saying it, people are dying at the end of the day. Whether Muslim, whether Christian, we do not want Nigerians to keep dying. I want us to work together with the United States to make sure that this is totally gone, not rather than trying to prove that one thing is happening, one thing is not happening. And in terms of the way the aviation person put it was perfect. It couldn't have been put better than that, because at the end of the day, nobody wants war. I don't think Nigerians understand the implications. I've been seeing a lot of things on social media, and because you know, I'm a Gen Z, I'll say, I feel like we do not understand what will happen. For all of them writing messages, tagging Donald Trump, oh, let there be war, send the soldiers. Do you understand? Have you been there? Have you seen a war? You will lose your family members, you will lose your properties. Like, they don't truly understand what it will be. So let's have this collaboration. Let's sit with US. Let's send the data that we have, that this is what we have done. I saw some pictures that were put on social media as well. And Nelson, I'll tell you something. Nigerians as well, we do not have trust for our government. So recently, there was a picture that was put out where the military was saying that they had attacked, you know, some places. Where they have attacked some places. Do you understand? And the comments Nigerians were putting was, oh, it's a lie. It's not true. And that is what hurts me, because we ourselves, how are we taking the whole issue? We're not taking it very well. We're not supporting Nigeria.
And Olamide, on the Daily Times, right there, the federal government is saying we're willing to work with America and other willing partners. You know, one of the issues here is trust deficit, one, on the part of Nigerians to our government. And then an analyst said yesterday on a network that I was watching, you know, he said that some of these things stems from the views that Nigerians are seeing some political office holders leave large, whilst there's a lot of penury on the vast majority of the people. And so for them, anything can happen.
Absolutely. Like we've rightly said many times, I don't think we understand the consequences of potential US military intervention on the ground. We don't. We would have marketplaces become military zones. We don't understand. You know, that headline on I believe, News Direct, it read, foreign lobbyists are responsible. We should not allow people who are not living in Nigeria, who have jackpad, who have foreign interests, to come and change the narrative for us. If we look at America, America has a pattern. Before they invade, there's always a story and a narrative. In Iraq, they fueled mass misinformation. They said, we're coming to destroy weapons of mass destruction. We're coming to liberate you. What happened after that? And yet, chemical attacks, genocide. So it's so interesting to me when we look at the paradox of who Donald Trump is, when we look at the fact that in Israel, there's statistics and studies that have come out to show that he's funding a whole genocide. He has not come out to say that Palestine is a sovereign state. And yet you have words for us. So we must unpack propaganda constantly. We must also remember that there are consequences for us that are living on the ground. The power of narrative cannot be understated. And that is what I want us all to remember.
And that's one of the issues that we need to fix as a country. aside our sentiments and passion to get on the keypad to type something, go get some knowledge a little bit. Forget about sentiments sometimes, you know, get some knowledge so it will inform how you have conversations. But Etoma, the Punch newspaper is shifting our attention to the PDP Wahala.
I like the way they say PDP Wahala.
You know, and this their waited for convention. The PDP faction locks secretariat as BOT Wike come hold rival meetings in one house, under one umbrella.
Is that umbrella still umbrella?
Wow. This PDP thing is just, it's a headache now. You know, you want to wonder, why are these people saying the convention shouldn't hold? And why are these people insisting that the convention must hold? What happens in the convention? You elect new officials for the party. Is it that the faction that says the convention shouldn't hold want to do the sit-tight thing? They want to stay where they are? You know, and why the whole wahala over a convention is what happens in every political party. So what is going on in PDP? I think the problem is deeper than the convention. It is by far deeper than the convention, and the convention is just a platform to ventilate your views or your stands. Now you will want to remember when Anyawu's case was the issue. You want to say, okay, so this is why they were saying Anyanwu shouldn't, and so on. Look, PDP is just scattered.
It's where Thomas says it with passion. It's just scattered.
It's scattered, you know, and so close to elections. I wish them well.
We couldn't wish them more well.
All we can say is we wish them well. And, you know, Nelson, we've been saying this on the table. So from what I was reading, we know that some group that are loyal to Wike, they're saying that they do not want it to happen. And then some other, the board members and trustees are saying that it should go ahead, it should happen. Now, what are the implications? What happens when we have this, you know, meeting? Like Thomas said, new people will be selected. But if there's anything I just want to say to the PDP is that we are tired of talking about their troubles. And I'm just hoping that they get to fix this issue. Is the convention happening? Is it not happening? They need to have one voice, and that's the thing. They all say they are under an umbrella, but it seems like they are scattered inside the umbrella. Because at the end of the day, what an umbrella signifies is that everybody is under. But it seems like most of them have different ideologies, and it cannot work that way. 2027 is around the corner. If your house is not fixed,
well, and the Blueprints newspaper is also talking about the same matter. But let's get to this Nigeria, Olamide. You know, this. We were speaking earlier, and then Ria mentioned that it was 3 to 5 years, but we're seeing right here that you know it's actually 14 years. Boy, if any lecturer knew he's going to be locked up for 14 years, you're not going to do that again.
Or you know what? They might still, Nelson, because oftentimes we've seen that yes.
If they're not locking for 14 years,
how many things have they put 14 years for? I won't say it on this table here. But I will say this, we must always start from a point of policy. And what do I mean by that? This is what the National Assembly is there for, to see the daily realities of Nigerians, use their work, use their voice, and get these things passed into policy. So when the disenfranchised women or students have a problem, it's not just social media. They have a law that they can point to. They have litigation. I love the fact that we're becoming more litigious as a society. It makes me very happy.
And just to buttress that, there are offenses that carry 21, 40 years. You know, imprisonment. And no, I'm talking about other offenses, and people are still committing those offenses.
And if I can bring you here to the Platform Times, you know, there's a human angle story. Speaking of 14 years and all of that, husband 25 arrested for allegedly stabbing 15-year-old wife.
What?
To death in Sokoto. This is really, first of all, 15-year-old.
I was just going to say that the guy has 2 cases to answer.
Both bills been handled in the Senate now for pedophilia, right? Boy, 15-year-old and then stabbed to death. How did we get there?
That is not just anger. That is madness. Yeah, you can say spiritual because madness has a link with with that. I mean, what did she do?
No.
First of all, she is 15.
She's a minor.
She's a child.
An absolute minor. But time, we're trying to race for time here. The Guardian newspaper, Maria, this referendum call heightened over illicit constitution plot or reform plot. You know, some persons are calling for a reform of the constitution. But then there is, should I use the word, the proper way of going about it. And it's going to take quite a number of process from the national to the state assemblies, you know, to go through the overhauling of some items on in our constitution. Remember the recommendation of oh Lord, I'm trying to remember the name now, of the committee that was set up by the then Goodluck Jonathan-led administration. Some of those recommendations, all of it have not yet been implemented. And so if we're talking about reforms, yes, that's the way to go. However, Constitutional conference, thank you.
But Nelson, for me, I'll say when the Constitution was written, you know, it's for the people, but at the end of the day, our say is not in that Constitution. So when you come to that aspect, I think that, you know, we really need to work on it. But for me now, working on it, I'm looking about the time and I'm looking about the logistics as well. That's the problem. If we now want to say we want to do, how long is it going to take? How much money is going to go into it?
And let's take this story before we get to the sporting life on the Hope newspaper. Over 1 million out of school children re-enrolled nationwide. It's some kind of good news. Yeah.
Tiwa has come out to say that he is going to make sure that it's data-driven. There's more tech. There's going to be a change in the way that and the manner that teachers are licensed. I love when I see re-enrolled because that tells me that there's been a learning, there's been a change in the system, and there's an unlearning. We can always start from the dashboard and go again. I like that so much.
And the sporting life this morning, Osimhen in Galatasaray and Ajax gave them 3-0 bang, bang, bang. Remember?
How many goals did he score?
3.
He's got a hat-trick.
Remember, the coach was saying they would do everything, to arrest and put Osimhen. Oh,
because they know.
He escaped like a bird from their plans. But I think that's how far we can go on the newspaper review segment this morning. Still to come on TVC Breakfast, China wades in to support Nigeria amidst U.S. threats. Join us after the break for conversations around the matter. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.